Okay, so let's go over the supplies that we need. Excuse me. We need a 12 by 18 piece of black paper. We need any color that the student wants of a 9 by 12 construction paper. We need scissors and a glue stick and a small brush. And then we have an assortment. This big one is probably too big for this, but we have 3 other sizes of these pouncing foam. They got a little messed up in shipping, so you're going to have to play around with them to make them circles again. Need a bowl of water, a small bowl of water, and 2 of these paper plates, dessert size. Okay. One will be used for a paint palette, and then the other one will be used first for a template for doing the elephant head, and then a little practice for them with their dots. Okay. I will let you look up Edward TingaTinga's work. You can find it on Pinterest, so that you can share a little bit of his story and his art with your students. We also need white acrylic paint, and then blue acrylic paint, and a pencil. I think that's all that we need for this. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate how to lay this out on your piece of paper. Students will get a full sheet of 12 by 18 paper, and I want you to have them fold it hamburger style like this, and then they can cut along that fold. And on one half of it, we're going to make the elephant's head. So we want to keep it all the way up to the top as much as possible. And then you want the trunk, I'll bring my finished piece over here. You want the trunk to go all the way down to the bottom. Okay? And when you're showing them how to draw the trunk, make sure that you have them make their line so it hugs the circle. Then it looks like it's all one piece. Sometimes students like to make like skinny little trunks and stuff, so we're going to encourage them to have those lines hugging the original circle. Okay, so you can set that off to the side then, and make your ears by folding it hamburger style, and then drawing the, let me see if I can find a white piece of a white pencil. I had one here just a second ago. Okay, so you want to encourage them to make the ears as big as possible, kind of in a kidney bean shape. And going all the way out to the non-folded side. Okay. And then when they cut it, want them to hold the 2 pieces together. This gets trickier as you cut it out, so that you'll have 2 matching ears. And then they can go back and kind of round out their curves. Okay, so you will end up with 2 matching ears. And when they're painting, make sure that they have their ears so that they're mirror images of each other. Okay, so going back to the head, really the only, besides getting the trunk nice and big, we just have the eye area. And what I like to do is think about it as they're drawing a basketball, right? And they want those two lines to be as close together, not close together, as similar to one another as possible. And then they draw a nice big eye with, color zone in there for a highlight. And then they can go across here and make marks that sets them up for making the same size eye. As you know, kiddos have a hard time making eyes match. Okay. So now we're ready to do the painting, and with a small brush, and we'll go over the lines that we just drew in the eye area, like that. And then we'll move on to the ears. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Encourage them to try to make them look nearly the same. But they don't have to be perfect. All right, then we're going to set our ears off to the side. And we'll bring this back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is work on our dots. And you want to have your pouncer damp but not runny, so put it in the water and then squeeze out some of the water. And you want to have a larger pool of white paint. There we go. And the reason why we're giving them a second plate is so that they can practice a little bit. It's a nice up and down motion. So they're going to apply it to their, tell them not to have too much paint on there, and you don't have to squish it down. You could kind of randomly do, I think they'll like this part of it a lot. Could put another one right in there. And then they can do a few on the trunk. And then we'll move this off to the side momentarily and use the same size on the ears, just kind of going around the outside. Well, that was kind of a mess. Obviously, you're not going to get perfect dots using these things. And what happened there is I didn't have the paper held down. So tell them to hold the paper down. And go all the way around. And then do the next ear. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side. Bring back the head, and we can use, you can use the smallest pouncer, or if you want, you can use the end of your a paintbrush for this. And I'm going to get a little more white paint because it really is easier to do if you have a little puddle that has some thickness to it. So you can get a couple of dots before reloading with the white paint. Okay, I don't know why it's going crazy on here, but probably because I'm trying to paint standing up. I strained my back, and sitting is not good. Okay, so we'll move that over carefully. Tell them to just touch just the very edges of it. And we'll get an ear and put some more small dots on it. Okay. I think I'll put some right up here too. Okay, last ear. Okay, so we've got a couple of little places to paint. One with the white paint, these tusks. So they're kind of half circles. And then we have the eyes. So clean that out and then take the blue paint. My blue paint's not wanting to come out. Let's try this one. There we go. Won't take very much paint. And then we're going to paint the eye, making sure not to paint the circle. So have them paint around the circle and then fill in around it. Okay, so our last steps here, we'll be putting all of the pieces together. So you want to flip it over and have them overlap. This was almost dry, but not quite. So it might be better, since we're under limited class time, if we just keep it upright and take the glue stick. If you have more time to let all of this dry, that would be great, but 9 times out of 10 we won't. Overlap it, press it down. Do the same thing on this ear. Get it sort of lined up there. Press down the edges. Okay, and then what we want to do is mount it on another piece of paper. so that it really shows off. So it can be any color paper that they want. And take the glue stick. To get the stick-ups figured out. Let's put a little bit more behind that. And there you go.